Hey Goldies, we are going to be filming the me reading my cringy fan fiction from when I was 11, 12 years old video. When I checked, turns out I only have one from then, probably because at this many years old, I realized how bad it was. So, yes, but I still do have one. It's a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction. It is a selection AU. I don't know about you guys, but I had one of those phases when I was a fanfiction writer. For some reason, I also always made my characters go into comas. Don't ask me why. I don't know. As you can see, I have it on my phone, so I'm going to be filming it there. Screen recording it there. Okay. So chapter 1, getting selected. Marinette, you have to send in a form for the selection. It'll be awesome. You have had a crush on the prince for as long as I've known you, which had been 5 years, my best friend Alia whined. I sighed. You know I can't. I'm Ladybug. I whispered the last part. She rolled her eyes but nodded. Yes, but just, less patrols, Alia suggested. That's true. I'll do it. I smiled and she high-fived me. Yes, girl, I hope we both get selected, she said with a smile. Speaking of which, why are you putting in a form? I asked my friend. To see if I think he'll be a good king. He's definitely not my type, she explained. I guess that's a good idea, but I'm sure he will. He's amazing, I said dreamily, and she rolled her eyes. Let's go, Alia said, and we started walking. It hurt to walk in the summer on the pavement, especially for the peasants like me, the ones who were 3s or lower. There was a hierarchy of 5. 1 were the royals, 2s were the nobles, 3s were the servants, 4s were the peasants with jobs, and 5s were the peasants without jobs. So I was only a 4 because I helped out in my parents' bakery. Most peasants didn't have shoes to wear, and you only got one pair a year if you were lucky enough. So if they broke, then too bad. But the reason I liked the Prince Adrian was because once he was king, he was gonna change so that there was no hierarchy and treat everyone equally. Alia was a 4 as well, because once we became friends, she started helping in my parents' bakery. Then after a while, they decided to hire her because she was good at it like me. But my parents were very kind people, so they hired lots of people to help them in their bakery once they got more and more popular. Now my parents' bakery was the most famous place to get baked goods where we lived. Felt someone wiggling in my purse and knew it was Tiki, my Kwame. She turned me into the famous heroine Ladybug. I knew she was just getting comfortable. Hopefully I'll be able to leave during the selection to transform if there's an Akuma. If I got chosen, of course. You're going to have to tell Cat Noir about putting something in for the selection, Alia told me, and I nodded. I know. Hopefully he won't get upset, I said nervously. The boy was in love with me. At least, that's what he claimed every day we saw each other. It made my heart warm sometimes, but I knew I liked Adrian, and not him. Hopefully he doesn't get too upset or jealous. My friend put her hand on my shoulder. It'll be fine. If he truly loves you, then he'll want you to be happy, she said, and I nodded. That's true. But I just hope we can still hang out sometimes. He's an amazing person, I told my friend. She smiled and bumped our shoulders together. That makes you sound like you're in love with him, Alia teased, and I laughed. Never, I said, walking into the shop that had the selection forms. Me and Alia both took one, along with a pen, and sat down. The shop was buzzing with people, probably from the selection tomorrow. That's why the bakery was so busy today, and it would be for the next few weeks. Name, Marinette Dupin-Ching. Date, 1/23/23. Age, 20. Birth date, 6/9/23. Medical needs, none. Kingdom, Paris. Parents, Tom Dupin and Sabine Chang. Rank, 4 peasant with job. You finished? I asked my friend, and she nodded. We put our things in the selection form box. Then we said our goodbyes as I had patrol for Akumas now. Me and Chatan had decided to do it earlier because of the selection stuff. I went in an alleyway and Tiki came out of hiding. "Tiki, spots on," I said. I met up with Cat Noir and he was taking the left side and me the right. It was surprisingly a quiet patrol, but I guess no one wanted to really try anything right now with the first episode of the selection coming up. Every selection, they filmed it for all of Paris to see. I went back to my spot. I sighed, waiting for my partner. I was scared to tell him what was about to happen. This was scary for me. What if he got mad, gave me back his miraculous? It was probably just my worries, but still. And then I jumped from a tap on my shoulder. "Sorry, milady. I didn't mean to scare you," he said softly, sitting next to me. "I have to tell you something," we said at the same exact time. He laughed. "You can go first, Bugaboo." I rolled my eyes at the nickname. "I'm trying for the selection," I whispered, and his eyes widened. "You are? That's awesome, milady. Congrats," Cat said happily. "You're not mad?" I asked, looking in his eyes to check if there was an emotion other than happiness. "Not at all. I might be able to hang out with civilian you after all," he said, and I gasped. "You live in the castle?" I asked incredulously. "Yep. Sorry if that's bad to tell you," he mumbled, but I just laughed. "No, it's fine. Well, hopefully Hawkmoth doesn't send too many Akumas, as we'll both be busy." "Me for sure. You possibly," he corrected, and I rolled my eyes again. "That makes no sense. It's okay, though." Yeah, but it's nice to chat with you for a bit. "We should probably go. The selection is starting soon," I said, and he nodded. "Bye, Bugaboo," he said, saluting and leaving on his baton. I left, swinging on my yo-yo to the balcony on top of the bakery. Detransforming, I laid on my bed. Just as I arrived, my mom knocked on the trapdoor. "Yes, Mama?" I asked. "The selection is starting now. Come down to watch and have some dinner," she said. "All right, coming in a second," I said back and gave Tiki another cookie. "Stay up here," I whispered, and she nodded. "Sure, Marinette," she said in the squeaky voice she had. I walked downstairs and grabbed the food my mom had made. I made myself comfortable, sitting on the floor next to my mom. It wasn't too comfortable, but we didn't exactly have enough money for much furniture except for in our bedrooms. So it wasn't much of a choice. We were only fours. I started eating and watched as King Gabriel and Prince Adrian entered the view of. "Hello, Paris, and welcome to the selection. It's time to find out who are lovely ladies who are competing for our wondrous Prince Adrian's heart," Alex, the news anchor, said. I smiled. "Mama, Papa, there's something I should tell you," I said nervously. They shared a look. "What is it, Marinette?" Papa asked. "I entered the selection," I said, it sounded more like a question than an answer. They stayed silent for a moment before hugging me. "That's amazing," Mama said. I smiled, and we continued watching. He was only introducing the royals and nobles there, which was boring, but I tried my best to listen. Then, finally, he started talking about the girls who got in. "I'm sorry to the girls who didn't get in, and happy for the girls who did. The girls are Alex Kubdel, who is a 3, Alia Césaire, a 4, my parents cheered, Aurora Boreal, a 2, Chloe Bourgeois, who is also a 2, Julika Kufane, which a 4, Kagami Tsurugi, another 2, Lila Rossi, a 5, Marinette Dupin-Cheng, who is a 4. My parents cheered again and hugged me with smiles on their faces. Mylène Harpriel, a 5, Rose Laverlant, another 5, Sabrina Rain Comprix, a 4, and 3, Soceline Wang, 4, Zoe Lee, and a 4, and lastly, Silversmith, a 5. Congratulations to all the girls who got in. Alex smiled. My parents were still smiling. Their smiles were huge. They could reach the moon. I was in shock. I had actually gotten in the selection. That was huge. I started squealing and hugged my parents. "You got in, honey," Mama said happily. "Congratulations, Marinette," Papa said. "Thanks, guys. I think I'm going to head to sleep for now, though," I said, and they nodded. "Good night, sweetie," Mama and Papa both said. I walked upstairs to tell Tiki and saw her happily sitting. "So, did you get in?" she asked, and I smiled and nodded quickly. "Congratulations, Marinette." "Thanks, Tiki. I'm so happy and kind of surprised I actually got chosen." "But you deserve it, okay? Now we should rest up," she said, and I nodded. "You're right. Let's sleep," I whispered as we went to bed. I woke up in a field as Ladybug. Cat Noir was there too. He turned over and smiled at me. I smiled back despite my shock. He grabbed my hand and kissed it. My eyes widened in shock. I tried to speak, but my voice wouldn't come. I love you, Bugaboo. I'm so happy you finally accepted my confession." I felt myself smile. "Me too, kitty," I whispered. But for some reason, he leaned over and kissed my cheek. I felt a blush fill my cheeks, and I smiled wider. This was so weird and unreal. Why was this happening? I didn't even like Cat Noir like that. "Marinette," I heard someone whisper. Then they whispered it again and again. So there is a chapter 2. It's also really bad. Thank you so much for watching this video, even though it was really bad. But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!